Hello, Algebra 1 students, welcome back. Today we are going to be solving inequalities using multiplication and division. For the first several, we are going to be multiplying and dividing by a positive number. Now it's going to look a little different when we do negative numbers, but we'll get to that in just a second. The first thing on number 1 we need to do is we need to get x by itself, so we need to times both sides by 3. Because this 3 and this 3 will cancel out, so then we get x is greater than negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And that's your answer. That's all you got to do. So for number 2, instead of multiplying, we have to get t by itself, we need to divide by 4. Divide by 4. So then we get t is less than negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3 again. So we got negative 3 and negative 3. I want you guys to pause this right now and do number 3 and 4 on your own, and then we'll come back and make sure we get the same answers. Okay, I'm back. Please look and see what I did and then compare it to see what you did. For number 3, we have to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 2, so that crosses out the 3's and the 2's. And then we're going to times by 3 over 2 on this side also. And I noticed that 6 and 2 could go into 6 3 times. So it's 3 up here and a 1 down here. So then I multiply across on the numerators. 3 times 3 is 9 over 1, which is just 9. So for number 4, we need to get z by itself. So I just divided by 12 and got 9 over 12 is greater than or equal to z. And that can reduce to 3 over 4 is greater than or equal to z. Hope you guys understood that. We're going to move on. Okay, now the new stuff. Multiplying by a negative number. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to change your inequality sign. So I'll show you what that looks like. To get x by itself, we need to times both sides by a negative 6. Because that negative 6 will cancel that 6 out. So now we have to times both sides by negative 6. So x, and when you times by a negative number, remember this is just negative numbers, we have to switch our inequality sign. So then x now will be greater than, and negative 2 times negative 6 is 12. So that is our inequality. So I want to do number 2 with you guys and see if you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 3 over 2. So that will cancel out. And then we times by negative 3 over 2 over here. And so we have z, but we times by a negative, so we have to switch our inequality sign. So instead of z is greater than, it's z is less than or equal to. And then 1 times negative 3 over 2 is just negative 3 over 2. You have to switch the inequality sign, because if you didn't, the statement would be wrong and any number you put in there would not work. So I want you guys to pause this right now and try number 3 on your own, and then we'll make sure we got the same answer. Okay, I'm back, and you can see what I did. To get g by itself, we needed times by the reciprocal of negative 1 over 3, so that is negative 3 over 1, so we times both sides by negative 3 over 1, and so we get g, and then we times by a negative, so we had to switch the inequality, so it's g is less than or equal to, and then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. We're going to move on to the division now, and just like we did in the multiplication, when you divide by a negative number, you have to switch the inequality sign. So for number 1 here, we're going to get h by itself, we have to divide by negative 9, divide by negative 9. And so we get h, and since we divided by a negative number, we have to switch our inequality sign, and 18 divided by negative 9 is negative 2. Okay, we're going to do number 2 together as well. To get y by itself, we need to divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3 on both sides. So then negative 21 divided by negative 3 is just positive 7. And since we divided by a negative number, we need to switch our inequality sign. So now it's 7 is greater than or equal to y, because those 3's cancel out. I want you guys to pause it again and try number 3 on your own, and then we will come back and make sure you guys got the right answer. Okay, I'm back, and you can see what I did. Just like we did on 1 and 2, we just divided by negative 9 to get d by itself, and then we get negative 12. And since it's dividing by a negative, we have to switch our inequality so we get negative 12 is less than or equal to d. If you guys don't quite understand this, we will work on it in class, so don't fret, but hopefully you guys understand it. We're going to move on to the last one, number 11. Sorry the numbers are all mixed up, but it'll work out. So for number 11, write 4 solutions to each inequality. So we just need to pick 4 numbers that we could put in for r to make this statement true. So r is equal to, and I'm just going to start. We can do r is, let's pick 0. So 0 over 3 is equal to 0. And is that a true statement? 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4? Yes, so 0 is a solution. I'm going to pick, let's try negative 1. So negative 1 over 3 is negative 1/3 greater than or equal to negative 4? Yes, it is. So negative 1 is a solution. Let's put in a 2. So 2 over 3 is, is 2 over 3 greater than or equal to negative 4? Yes, so negative 2/3. And let's try negative 3. So negative 3 over 3 is equivalent to negative 1. And is negative 1 greater than or equal to negative 4? Yes. So on these type of problems, all you need to do is find 4 solutions that will make this entire statement true. So it could be any values. So I hope you guys understand this. Bring your stuff to class tomorrow, and we will work through these together as a class. Have a great night.